Hello and welcome to another dance music tutorial. In this video we're going to be looking at how to create a Flume style synth lead in Massive. So I'm assuming you have a basic understanding of Massive, and this is the sound in question. We'll start it from here. It goes from a nice open sound down to a nice closed cut-off sound. So as you can hear, this would be great for accompanying vocals just because of the nature of the sound. It's nice in the background, not obtrusive and up front. So just before we move on to creating a new patch, which is what you're here for, just a quick shout out to the last video winners. You're on screen now, so thank you guys for dropping a comment. You two got it right. So the question for this week's video is on this bass line here. Now, is this bass line either being modulated on the cutoff, on the resonance, or is it both? So is it being modulated, either cutoff or resonance, or is it both? I'll mention you in next week's video, and this patch will be free to download. It's a very simple patch, and you're probably able to make it in a few seconds. So back to the video. Let's go back over here to this lead. Now what we're going to do is look at what's happening here. So we've done an initial preset, and you get the square saw 1, all standard, and it's kind of straight up. So what I've done is turned off oscillator 2 and 3, modulation, noise, feedback, insert, insert 2, and filter 2. Just turn them all off because we ain't going to be using them. So heading back up to here, for some reason I've set it to plus 12, which is 1 octave. If you hold Alt, you can choose between octaves. So we're going for the lower octave, and we're going to turn the wavetable position all the way up full, and that's the same for everything else there. So that bit's set up now, and what we're going to do is going to head over to voicing, and in voicing we're going to set unison up to 4, and we want to turn off pitch cutoff, just give it a bit of detune, so just tastefully, not too much. Now as you can hear, it's very centered, so what we need to do is the pan position and turn this up to full. Just takes any of the phasing issues and it kind of pushes it out from the center because it goes very mono. Right, and from there we are going to use the envelope 1, and what we're going to do here is set the attack to about 10 AM. The decay level just slightly up from where it is, just slightly up, and then a bit more release. So we'll just give a bit of a more generous amount of release in there. Right, moving to envelope 4, which is what I class as the master envelope, because the first envelope is going to be attached to the cutoff later. So in the master envelope, just decrease the attack level to about 230. So about there. That just kind of reduces the attack peak, if you know what I mean. As you can see, it's literally how it looks there. Just reduce the level on the decay just slightly. Right, so heading over to filter 1 here, we're going to slide up this kind of fader that fades between both filters. Obviously it's set to filter 2 there normally, so let's set it up to filter 1, and we're going to choose low pass 4. So after choosing low pass 4, we're going to turn up the cutoff up to just above 9 AM there. So we get this sound. So it's very distant, as you would expect with a cutoff. So envelope 1 comes into play here. We're going to drag and drop that there. So drag the plus to there. And we're going to drag that up to about 2 PM. So about there. So we get this sound. And you can hear that is kind of the characteristic right there. So I'm just going to drag it up a little bit more. So yeah, let's leave that there. Right, next we're going to use the macro control. And we're going to drag that down to here till we get this little square. So you can see it's gone past the point of no return. So when we turn up the macro knob, we get a nice cut-off sound. So I'm just going to drag that a little bit further. So if we doink just a bit further. Okay, so the last portion of this sound is now through the two effects in the EQ. So the first effect, we have the classic tube, and the dry wet I have set about like that, nearly similar on the settings. Then the second effect, we're going to have the reverb. We're going to turn up that, we're going to turn up that. So we've got size around 1 o'clock, dry wet just above 9, colour I usually have all the way up, but we're going to turn it to about 2 AM. And why I've chosen AM and not PM, it's just 2 o'clock. Moving on to density, we're just going to let's just see how it sounds. Right, dry wet to just under 9 o'clock, density about 12:30, colour about 2 o'clock, and size about 1 o'clock. And then finally in the EQ, to taste, bit of high shelf. So about 2 o'clock again, just add that little bit of sparkle in there, and then a bit more volume. And there you go, we have a classic Flume sound. So if we now look at here, let's just drag that down, macro 1. If we just jump back into the sound here and just name macro 1 as filter. Choose macro 2, go back there, see you have filter as macro 1 now. And then we have control setting the read. Now, to me, it sounds a little bit too fast on the attack, so we're going to jump back in here. There we go. And there you go. That is the complete sound. It's a choice of chords from there on, just to make your track pop. You can make some great chilled music with this, and the preset works great with some husky vocals. I like those of Chet Faker. It's a real good partnership because it's like soft and husk. Fantastic combination. That's why Chet Faker and Flume work so well together. So, if you like the video, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment because I'm always wanting to hear what you guys have to say. So thank you for watching. See you in the next video.